What's up, guys? This is the Experienced Optimist, and right now I'm talking to you on a new microphone. It's the Black Yeti microphone. It's supposed to have much better sound quality than the other microphones. So, if you like this microphone better than the other one, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know. But today we're going to be talking about how society keeps men disposable, and they do this in three ways. Society controls men through three things: our time, our freedom, and our money. Let's talk about time first. Now, as we all know, time is the most important resource that we as men have. The person who controls our time controls us. There is a good quote that I found. It says, "I prefer solitude to companions. Since there are so few men who are trustworthy and almost none truly learn. I do not say this because I demand scholarship in all men, although the sum total of men's learning is small enough. But I question whether we should allow anyone to waste our time. The wasting of time is an abomination." See, what I found out, and what many men have found out, much smarter than me, is that society wants men to waste their time at companies that would easily replace them with AI or some automated machines. Society wants men to waste their time chasing women. Society wants men to waste their time seeking solace and refuge in the affirmations of men that don't mean us well. So society is always looking for a way to control men's time and therefore control our resources. So the first thing we have to do as MGTOW men is we have to take back control of our time. No more working egregious hours of overtime looking for a pat on the back from our corporate overlords. These same corporate overlords that talks about us having pride in our work, they'll fire us at the smallest chance to make a couple of bucks. I remember there's this one guy that I worked with. He was a consultant. This man worked overtime all the time on certain tests that needed to be done for the customer at my company. He was always at work. He was always helping others. One day they just decided, you know what? Phil, we'll call him Phil. You know what, Phil, we don't need you anymore. In a week, you need to get out of here. And the guy who had worked there as a consultant for many, many years, he couldn't believe that he was being treated that way. He had a degree. I think he may have had his PhD, actually. I mean, the guy was a nice guy, never ruffled any feathers, complete professional. And that's the way they treated him. Okay. So, when we're taking back our time as MGTOW men, we're not going to give up on vacations so that we can look like a hero at work. I've seen men do that too. We are no longer going to put other people's needs before our own. I remember Tom Leykis saying on a radio show that no man should ever be a company man. And he was right. Always strive to control your time as a man, as a MGTOW man. That's number one. Next, we're going to be talking about freedom. A free man is an enemy to the gynocentric system. I'll say that again. A free man is an enemy to the gynocentric system. Why is that? Because you can't control him. He's out doing what he wants to do, not what the gynocentric system wants him to do. See, most men that I know have little time, but even less freedom. They are inundated with social contracts. And when I say social contracts, these are the things that you have to do that you really don't want to do. You have to attend meetings that you do not want to attend. Men that don't have freedom, they're slaves to the women and their children. They have to interact with people they hate. They support charities and attend parties that they rather would not. They join associations they do not agree with so that they can become better social climbers. It has been my conclusion that the less freedom you possess, the more disposable you are as a man. This is very, very true. As a MGTOW man, going our own way, we must shake off unwanted entanglements and avoid them like the plague. I remember there was this guy at work, I'm going to call him John, project manager, real cool guy. I remember I sat down with this guy and I asked him, I said, man, how do you deal with all this political nonsense? I mean, you have to deal with a lot of backstabbing, and you put up with a lot of working overtime. He gets paid decent, but he never has time to spend his money the way he wants to spend his money because he's always working. When one project ends, he has to get back into the office because we got another project coming down the pipe. So he was explaining that he goes through all this customer bullshit. He goes through all the backstabbing. He goes through all this unnecessary stress. So at the end of the project, when it's finally done, that is the only happiness that he receives. The fact that the project has been completed. And I said to myself, this man really isn't free. At cocktail parties, he can say that I am a project manager in a Fortune 500 company. You know, I'm a major guy in the scene. But ultimately, this guy has no freedom to do what he wants. Why? Because he's always at work. There's another guy I talked to, and I may have mentioned this in another video. His wife gives him a monthly stipend of $50. Because he can only spend $50 a month, imagine that, he has no freedom to go out and do the things that he enjoys. He likes to play golf. Golf's expensive. It limits the amount of games that he can play. And I'm sure his wife knows this. This is one of the casualties of being a simp. So freedom is very important if we as MGTOW men do not want to remain disposable. So what's the last thing? Money. Actually, let me back up because I found a quote that was pretty good about the freedom of choice. It says that happiness is the freedom of choice. The freedom to choose where you live, what to do, what to buy, what to sell, from whom, to whom, when, and how. That is true happiness. And I would agree with that statement. I would agree with that quote. Because the men I mentioned earlier, that's what they do not have. They don't have the freedom of choice. And therefore, when I talk to them, they're not very happy, or like I said about the project manager, he's only happy a few times in the year when one project is completed, having dealt with all that unnecessary stress earlier. But let's talk about money. One of the most important things that our society likes to tell us. Our society uses money to keep men in debt. So therefore, we are at the servitude of others. So much importance is put on money rather than relationships and experiences from which true happiness is derived. I remember I was watching the, the Ninja Warrior television show. And in the Ninja Warrior television show, there was a guy who was a snowboarder, and he used to instruct people who wanted to learn how to snowboard, and he didn't get paid a lot of money at all. But the money he did get paid, he used to hang out with friends and the people he cared about. So the guy really didn't need too much money. He was happy with his life. He just needed the bare amount of money to snowboard, do the hobby that he enjoyed, teach people, another thing he enjoyed doing, and hanging out with his friends. He lived a simple life. But in our society, they try to make us feel that we need to buy expensive cars. We need to buy these expensive lofts and houses. And then, only then, we will be happy. But in reality, it turns us into debt slaves. And it makes us as men more disposable. Because once we get rid of one guy, we can just pull in another guy, give him the same dream of being this, being Mr. Cool, having expensive toys, expensive gifts. We milk this guy dry and then on to the next one. There was another guy, Ninja Warrior, called Flip Rodriguez. I actually interviewed this guy a while ago, several years ago. And Flip Rodriguez, he owns a Ninja Warrior gym. I'm not sure if he still owns it. But I asked him about happiness and money. And he told me that he didn't make a lot of money. But he didn't care. He was happy that he was able to help kids get in shape and help kids grow just because he himself was an American Ninja Warrior. So he didn't care about the money. He just cared about the interactions he had with the kids, which basically is what leads to happiness in the long term. So we as MGTOW men, we're going to have to start reducing our debt, saving our money, and living below our means if we want to be less disposable in society. No more running towards debt servitude. Now, going forward, in the comment section, I want you guys to write down ideas for how men can take back control of their time, money, and freedom. This is MGTOW, this is men going their own way. These are just some of my suggestions. But as MGTOW men, this is a brotherhood. We can all help each other. Going forward, I want us to, as MGTOW men, help one another so we can more rapidly leave this plantation that we find ourselves in. So if you like this video, give a thumbs up, like, subscribe. You know, I created some t-shirts for sale on Sunfrog. I'll leave a store link in the description box. I want you guys to tell me about what you think about the designs on the store. And if you want to support the channel, purchase a shirt if you'd like. I think it's better than, becoming a patron, because it's something you can use, you can wear it like every day. But yeah, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, support other MGTOW channels. And I'll talk to you later, guys. What's up, guys?